Good evening, everybody. Stanton here from Algo Trading. Okay, today we are going to be talking about my latest EA that I've written especially for BYBIT for Algo Trading. It's called Multifarious. I had previously a EA called Multifarious, but I've just updated it slightly to work better with the BYBIT platform. So let's get into the EA. Okay, so we have loaded our MT5 MetaTrader platform. And you can see here we've got our expert advisors on the side. I've created a folder for my BYBIT expert advisors, and we could go into this multifarious. Um, so let's just go into the tester. Okay, let me just close the symbol window so we've got more space here. So we're going to go into the strategy tester. I'm going to go through some of the input functions. The source code and the EA is available on my website. The link is down below. Also, if you put in the code that I've put down below, BYBIT50, you will get 50% off this particular EA. So there's some incentive to go get it. So you guys can start programming, and you get the full source code, plus you get all the set files. If you join our Telegram channel, I will give you all the set files for this particular algo. So let's go through some of the inputs. There's a lot of inputs. So multifarious is a multi-indicator trading algo. So we have many indicators, but you could choose which ones you want to use. So it's basically an all-in-one strategy builder. This is not a, I'm just giving you advice now, this is not a plug and play EA where you start using it and it just works. Okay, if you import the set files that I give you, yes, it will work on certain crypto pairs, but it is a more advanced EA. And what I would recommend that if you are going to be using any of the indicators that I'm using in this EA, I would recommend that you read up about them, find out how they work, understand what you are trading, and then start implementing. The worst thing about algo trading is people just coming in, setting some settings, but not actually understanding what they want to trade. So if you want to trade a moving average crossover, for instance, here you want to do a crossover where the fast EA crosses over the slow EA, then you would set, you need to understand what you're doing, and then you know what you're looking for in the chart. I've had many people come back to me and say, oh, the EA is not working, it's entering a trade, it's not entering a trade yet. And I was like, well, what are the conditions? What have you set? So please understand what you're trading. I can't tell you how dangerous it is to put an EA up and you don't know what the trading conditions are. So with that little warning, let's go into some of the settings. Okay, here are some of the main settings that we've got. It's just your trade comment. If that puts it into your journal or into your trade history, it will tell you what your comment is. Magic number, that's just a unique identifier for this algo. So for instance, multifarious is a you could build many EAs from this one EA. So for each EA, you would have a different magic number. What I recommend doing is using the date and time. So for instance, I want to do a new one. I'll go 2024 08 02, and then I use the time 2240. That's why you guarantee it's unique for every EA that you build. Print log just prints out, you see you've got a journal here, and it just prints out what's happening when it buys, the current margin. Also prints out errors if there's any errors. This field is the max buy position, so if you want it to take out more than one position, you would change that to 2 or 3 or 1. But right now we're just leaving at one buy and one sell. Close opposite trade, that should be in the exit settings, but let me just close opposite means that if you are trading and just say you do a MA crossover trade, for instance, so when the golden cross happens, when the, to say 50 crosses over the 200, it will open a trade, and then when the crosses back down, the 50 crosses back down through the 200-day moving average, it will close the buy trade and then enter a new trade. So that's what the close opposite position means. And trade on new bar, I always like to keep this true. So you're always evaluating the bar before the current bar. Okay, we've got some money management section. This is just your stop loss, your take profit, whether you want to use your trailing stop or not, whether you want to trade either a constant lot or risk in percentage of your free margin. You could choose that. So if you want to risk 1% of your capital per trade, you'll use risk and 1%. Else, if you want to use a fixed lot, you put in the fixed lot. There is an option for max lot size, slippage, and spread. So if your spread is more than 100 or 200 or 300, whatever, it won't go into a trade. But if you want to set these to 0, you could just set them to 0, and then it won't have any effect. Okay, let's go through some of the indicators. I'm not going to go through every field. You guys could do some research about it, but I could just tell you which ones we have. We've got 2 moving averages, so you could use a fast and slow moving average. We've got RSI. There's a couple of options for each. If it exceeds levels, so for instance, if it goes below 30, you buy. If it goes above, let's say 80 or 70, you sell. And then trace back from levels. This is a different one. So if it crosses back over the 30 line, or crosses back over the 70 line, then it will go into the trade. So it's not just exceeding the levels, it needs to actually exceed it. The bar before is over it and the next bar is under it. And you've got your averaging period. I'm not going to go into all of that. You've got Fibonacci. So yeah, you just say if it's between 38.2 and 50, open a trade. If it's between 23.6 and 68, that's a very wide range. Or you could just have reversal. So for instance, if your price is above the 61.8 Fibonacci, it will put in a sell order. If it's below 23.6 Fibonacci, it will put in a buy order. You've got Bollinger Bands, stochastics, very similar to RSI. You've got MACD, momentum indicator. So basically, I mean, some of them are self-explanatory. So if it's above 100, it will buy. If it's below 100, it will sell. ADX settings, RVI. So there's a lot of trading strategy. You could combine them. You could use. So that's a relative vigor indicator. ADX is directional indicator. Momentum tells you momentum. So there is some like trend following indicators here, and there is some mean reversion indicators in here. So you could choose how you want to use them. You could use combinations of them, but I am saying that this is a fairly advanced EA, and you do need to understand what it is you're doing before you actually start trading. And then also you could choose your trading times. If you want to trade on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, you could choose a trading hour. I always just set this true, but I mean, if you only want to open a trade between 8 in the morning and 12 in the afternoon, you could do that. So you can set your trading times as well. So these are basically the input functions. Okay, so let's go into one of my set files that I created. So I'm going to load my set file. So by loading a set file, okay, so let me explain to you. A set file is basically a predefined set of all of these input parameters. So when you find a group or settings that you like, you could right click and you could save it, and then that will save your own set file. Or what you could do, if you have set files that are already saved, you can load. Let's go into BYBIT, multifarious, and let's go to let's do the Fibo one. So what we're seeing here is that we are using the Fibonacci sequence. So you could see the stop loss. I've already optimized to get the best stop loss, the best trailing. We're not using moving average. We're not using anything other than the Fibo. So if the Fibo range, we're just using reversal. So if the price is above the 28, 23 point is below the 23.6, it's going to open a buy trade. If it's above the 61.8, it's going to enter a sell trade. So basically, we're looking at extreme oversold and overbought conditions. Let me just run this. All these set files are available in my Telegram group. Just log in, come join our Telegram group, ask for it, and I will send you the set files. I also have a set file group where I post all my set files into whenever I do them. So you could just go into the set file group and download them from there as well. Okay, so I'm just going to run this on the daily. I'm going to run it for the last, look, the history is not that great at the moment, MQL5 on BYBIT, but I'm sure they're going to get more history. So we've got basically about a year and a half of data, which for me is enough. I'm going to run it on the 1 minute OHLC because I'm running it on the daily, and I do I evaluate on new bar. You could run your backtests on 1 minute OHLC, and I'm going to disable the. So let's have a look at the algo, how it performs. Let's just slow it down. Okay, so there's your Fibo grid. It's drawn in there. So you can see it's not below or above the. Okay, so it went above, so it keeps trying to sell now. It's above the 61.8, so it's going to keep looking for sell positions until it goes below. So, we're hoping that it comes down. And you can see I've set my stop loss to very, very small stop loss. So I'm only looking for a couple of pips. So now there's no trades. We're in this middle range. We go above the range again. And I was looking for sell positions. And if it comes down below the 23 Fibonacci, it's going to look for long position. Didn't quite close below. There we go. Now it's looking for long positions. So, and it's going to start looking for short position from there. So let's have a look at the history. Okay, so I'm going to run this. So that's basically the idea of it. So we're going to run it at full speed just to get to the end of the back test. And so let's have a look at our graph. So it's a fairly decent looking trade. So if we look at our back test, we could see we deposited 1,000, made 86,000 over a year and a half, so it's almost 86x. Drawdown is 13%, equity drawdown 14%, but what you can see here is the amount of winning and losing trades. So we 85% win rate on our buys. Oh, sorry, profit trades and long trades and loss trades. So our loss trades is about 14%. So it's an 85% win ratio. So it's a very, very good algo. It does trade a lot, as you saw, when it is above and below those ranges, because it's going to keep looking for sells. I mean, you could increase it to the 100 if you want, but generally, the 61.8. And what you could also do, you could use a bigger range, so you could put it on the daily chart, which is one of the most powerful things about MQL5, is that the indicator could be on the daily chart, but you're charting, or the monthly chart, but you're actually running it on the daily chart or the hourly chart. So that is very, very cool feature. So, but I mean, you have that option. If you go back to your inputs, you have the option to put the Fibber on the time frame. So you could go from any time frame from 1 minute to 1 month. So that is the Fibonacci set that I made from the multifarious. So that is fairly profitable. Again, we can look at the back set, we can look at the graph. Very nice graph, very nice back test. So I have saved that set, and I'm going to be putting that live as soon as I deposit some money into my MQL5 account. Okay, so let's have a look at another one. This is another one I did quite recently. This is a momentum. So what I did get from all my research into studying algos and crypto is that mean reversion strategies don't work that well on crypto. You do tend to see big momentum swings, and you'll see a run up, a big bull run, then you'll see a big bear run, then you'll see a big. There's rarely times that the movement reaches that overbought level, comes back to the mean. So I find that momentum strategies work a lot better when it comes to crypto than sort of mean reversion strategies. So this is a momentum strategy I did. Um, you can see all the settings. I'm just using a constant lots of 0.1. I'm not using anything else. False. And I'm just using the momentum indicator. Using the momentum indicator, the averaging period is 14. I'm using 75 as my buy level. You can actually even change it to 100, because generally the 100 on the momentum indicator, the 100 point is your midway point. So if it's above 100, it's a buy position. If it's below 100, it's looking to sell. And what's nice about the momentum indicator, it's a leading indicator, so it actually changes like the ADX. It changes before the actual trend changes, so it's a leading indicator, so it allows you to get in a little bit earlier. Okay, so let me run that. We're going to do the same sort of back test. I'm going to run it. Let me just run it a little bit soft. So you can look at the level of it. So that is currently 121. So you're going to keep looking for buys. Okay, so it's above. So now it's following the momentum. So it's going to keep looking for buys until it drops below that 100 period. And you can see it's quite high now, and it's still pushing up. Generally in Forex or CFDs, you would see like a little pullback and then a big move again up. Okay, so you see it's dropped now below the 90, the 100. There was a lost trade. Now it's dropped down again, so now it's looking for sell positions. And also I've got a very, very tight trailing stop in here as well. So even though my stop loss is here, okay, so you could get the idea. So and this generally trades on every bar because it's always above 100 or above. So every day it's going to open a trade essentially. Okay, so there you get the idea of the momentum indicator. I'm just going to let it run to the end. Let's go look at the back test. Another great result. Drawdown is a bit high. Look at for 197x over 2 years, I would drop the input a lot, for that. So I would. Let's just go back to my inputs. I'll do a fixed lot, and also I'm only trading BTC at the moment. I haven't tried this on any other pairs. I'm just testing BTC at the moment. I think it has the most liquidity, the most volume, the most everything. So for now, I'm just testing on BTC. So let's run it with a fixed lot of 0.01. And that should bring our... Okay, it's not as good as the Fibo chart. It's not as straight. But I mean, it is still profitable. And if we look at our back test, see, we're only making 19x, 19,000, and it's still 32%. So look, it is a risky one. I mean, it might be worth then just running it at higher risk, but the chances are getting blown out is very, very high. Okay, so now I've shown you some of the sets that I've created. Now what I'm going to show you is how to optimize a set and how to build a set and optimize it and find the best settings. So I'm going to do a very, very basic EA for you now. I'm just going to set everything to false, so we're not going to use anything. We're not going to use that. True. I just want to go to the false generic base, and I'm just going to uncheck everything except for the stop loss. So everything's unchecked. Everything's unchecked there, except for the stop loss fields. I'm going to just always run it at a 0.1 lot for now. Just for, you can always change it to test it how it works in the percentage or constant lot, but I'm just going to set it for a fixed lot while I'm busy backtesting. It should be relative, but so, as you saw now, it's not always relative. So let's talk about optimization a bit, because I think this is the most important part of algo trading, and a lot of people don't understand optimizations. Can I set to defaults here? Let me just set to default. Oh no, I can't. I've already set the starting parameters, but a lot of people just, they get it, they'll click everything, they'll run it, and they might find a profitable result or not, but it's the chances are is that you might get lucky, and it's just going to end up breaking the um go to zero once you start trading live. You need to understand what the parameters are that you're passing in, and you need to understand what you want it to do. Okay, so let's build an, is anything checked here? I just want to make sure that we've got nothing checked, so we could control the, okay, so we've only got the trailing stops checked, and now we've got our fixed lot set at 0.1. Okay, and we're not going to do a risk, we're going to do a fixed lot. Okay, so what I'm going to build now, I'm going to build a moving average crossover. In trading terms, it's called the death cross or the golden cross. It's when your slow moving average crosses over your fast moving average. So I'm going to set this to true, because I'm only going to be using the moving average. I'm going to set my ES. So here's a perfect example of understanding backtests, because if you don't know that you've got a starting point, a step point, and a stopping point, you would run this, and you'll run your backtest, you'll run your optimization. But the thing is that you're only starting from 200. I mean, it might be profitable where the 10 crosses over the 100 or the 5 over the 50. You never know. So you need to understand. So like, I'm going to start this at 20. I'm going to go up in steps of 10, and I'm going to go to the 200. I don't think we need to go more than 200. Okay. The horizontal shift, I'm going to keep it as 0. We don't want it to shift. We could change the type if it's going to be an exponential moving average to simple moving average. We can optimize for the price. And then the fast moving average, I'm going to start at 10, go up in 10, and go to 100. Okay, we're going to leave the shift. We're going to see what's the best type of moving average to use, what the price, and then we're going to choose, let's keep the time frame on the current. So we're going to use the daily chart, so we're not going to change that. And then this is another thing, so we could actually measure how far must it cross over the line in pips before you actually take a trade. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say immediately as it crosses, let's go into a trade. Okay, is everything else unchecked? Just making sure. Yes, there's nothing else checked. Okay, so all we're doing is optimizing the stop loss, the trailing stop, the take profit, and the cross. Okay, now the next thing I want to explain to you is about these agents. Now the agents are what your computer uses to run the optimization. So either you could use your local computer. You can see I've got 8 cores, fairly decent computer, but it still takes about 15-20 minutes to run a back test, even though I'm running it on a fast test and on 1 minute OHLC. So it is time consuming. So the best thing to do is create an MQL5 account, log into your MQL5 account over here. You log into your MQL5 account and deposit some money into your MQL5 account. What that allows you to then do is use the cloud network to run your backtest. So you use MQL5 cloud network. So basically what is that doing is that there's some people out there that are allowing their machines to be rented to be used to run these optimizations. So you can see here there's 5,456. So you're actually spreading this workload across thousands and thousands of computers, which makes it run a lot faster. And this is one of the features that you don't get in MT4. But for backtesting and optimizations, you definitely need to do this. else. You also, okay, if you got your time and you want to run it in the morning, come back in the afternoon and see what your results are. But if you're someone like me who's running multiple tests throughout the whole day, you need to aim to do this. So create yourself an MQL5 account, deposit some money in there with, you could do it with PayPal, you could do it with your credit card, whatever it is. You probably need about $20 in there. That will keep you going for about a month or two. Okay, so that's just one piece of advice. It helps with backtesting and optimization so much you actually don't understand how well it works. Okay, so let's run our backtest. So we've got our fast generic algorithm. We're going to use a 1-minute OHLC. See, I use fast generic now, but then if I want to fine tune like a couple of the parameters, then I would use the slow complete. But fast generic generally finds your perfect optimization, excuse me, like that. Okay, so I'm going to run on BTC, I'm going to run on daily. I'm going to have an initial deposit of $1,000 and let's go. And if you look at your optimization results, you'll see how quickly it starts actually putting results in here. Okay, another little tip. You go to filters, you say you don't want to see zero trades, you don't want to see losses, and you don't want to see drawdowns greater than 50%. And you can see I've already done almost 4,000 optimizations in a couple of seconds. Okay, so we just let this optimization finished. Haven't got amazing results. These drawdowns are still quite high. See what you're actually looking for. I mean, these are not bad. 90% drawdown. Okay, so there we go. It's finished. So let's have a look at some. So this is the best result here. It puts it according to the best result. So we're doing 72,000 over that period. We made 71,300 profit, 517 trades. So we've got a stop loss. See, stop loss is very, very small, which is why I'm thinking that the back test works so well. But we could test it. See, we're not using a trailing stop. Okay, so your slow MA, well, that doesn't make sense. Your slow, oh yes, it does. Your slow MA is 140 and your fast MA is 90. So when the 90 crosses the 140, it goes into a long. See, these are false positives because you're not. We're testing for the fast MA to go through the slow MA. So these are actually false positives. I would look at something with a higher stop loss. So we've got here an 85,000 stop loss, but your drawdown's a little bit higher. So I mean, it's a trade-off what you're actually looking for. So to me, this would be. So you got your fast, your 30-50 might be a bit too many trades, too fast. Well, let's just take the best one. Let's run that. So you double click it. Oh, it's already. Is that already finished? Okay. So if you double click it, it's going to put those inputs into your settings here. So you can see it's the 140 and 90. Then you could run disable that, and then you could start your back test. I'm going to just slow it down a little bit. Okay, so you can see there 90, it's crossing. And we're going to wait for it to cross up. Not sure why it's taking so many trades. Did I do something wrong? It should only really take a trade here. Let's just see if I did the settings wrong. Doing an MA trend. There's the problem. Okay, so let's just stop. We're going to just do an MA crossover. So MA trend, all that's checking is if the price is above the slow moving average. So let's do MA crossover, and we won't. Let's do our optimizations again. Yeah, so that was a mistake there. Let's do a fastly. And we are going to do just the MA crossover. So what was our problem before here? I started at 10. So let's start this one at 50. And then the slow one will go up to 50. The fast moving average period will go up to 50. So the max fast moving average will be 50, and let's actually take this a bit higher, maybe even make it like 300. And this will start from 50 and go to 10. So let's do another optimization, see if we could actually get a proper. When you're using the MA trend, you generally use it with another indicator. You can't just see is the price above, then go into a trade. It's a little bit risky to do it that way. Let's see if we got anything decent here. Very few trades, but I actually just want to watch it to show you how it actually works. Yeah, it's not great performances. There's only 13 trades. But I mean, it doesn't happen often. Like a major crossover happens maybe a couple of times a year. In this case, 13 times a year. So definitely the momentum indicators, trading a lot more. Fibo trades a lot more. But this is just an example to show you how to actually do. Okay, so let's see what the lowest drawdown is. Okay, that only did 7 trades. And that is when the 10 crosses the 90. Okay, so let's look at our max profit and the lowest drawdown. So let's just take this one for example. Still did 75,000, and it was the 10 crosses the. Okay, so let's actually watch this one. So let's double click that. Okay, double clicked it. It loads the values into your editor, and we'll start. Let's have a watch, see what happens. Okay, so this is the 10 moving average, and that is the 120. So you'll see as it crosses up above, it's going to enter a trade. There we go. I mean, that one trade, is it still open? But there's no trading stop, so the trade is still open. Where's the stop loss? Oh, are we not? So the trade is still open, it looks like. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's the first trade. No, that's 100,000. So it would be good to actually have a trading stop in there. I don't see any stop losses. Let's just look at while that's running, let's just look at the inputs. It does have a stop loss in pips, but it's not showing a stop loss on the graph. It's way high. Okay, well we just got to assume that there's a stop loss. It's probably too high. Okay, so this trade should close when it crosses through again. Yeah. Okay, so then across, and then when the 10 crosses up through the 90 again, it's going to open up another trade. And there's the trade. Okay, so that is, and you could just run this live. I'll show you how to actually put algos live. That's the next thing. Okay, so you can see how that works. Look, it's not an amazing, it still make a good profit, but the drawdown is quite high, and there's not enough trades. But you could try to do this on the hourly, But I mean, that's up to you to go optimize, to go play with it, and get the best results, what you want out of it. Okay, now to trade this EA. So I want to trade it on the BTC on the daily chart. So this is the 1 hour chart. I want to put it on the daily chart, so I click daily. How you would do that is you take the EA, you add it to the chart, just allow for modic, and you say, and you'll go to inputs here, and then you would load your set. So for instance, I want to trade the momentum one or the Fibo one. I'll say okay, and now technically it is running. Let me just see if there's any errors. No, this is for the backtest, so that EA is technically running. Allow algo trading, yeah, so that EA is running. So on the next bar, when the next bar opens, it will then draw the Fibo lines, and it will start looking for trade entries. Okay, so this is running, but the only problem is now is that, let me just close these windows. The only problem is now is that, you know, this is running as long as you got your computer open. If you close your computer now, it will stop trading. So what they have for MQL5 is this thing called a VPS. Okay, now a VPS basically takes a copy of your entire trading platform. So before you upload to a VPS, you need to oh, I've got some free VPSs. I don't want to use them just yet. I'll wait till I've got a decent amount of money. So I've got 800 minutes left here, and I've got sponsored by the broker. We've got some free VPSs. I think that's awesome. I didn't realize that. Okay, so what would happen is you would pay for it or use your free minutes, your free broker one, and then what it does, it will copy the copy of your trading environment, the way your MT5 terminal is set up right now. It will copy that to a cloud, and that will allow it to run for 24 hours a day, and then you could close your computer and you could carry on trading. So you need to set up all your charts exactly how you want it. You need to set up all your algos. And then once they're set up, you would go to your VPS and you would deploy it to the VPS. I'm not going to do it now, or maybe let's just do the free one. You rent for free. Okay, and it says migrate all your counts, your signals, your charts, your experts, indicators, everything. I just migrate everything. Migrate all. Migration successful. So now it is technically running live. So you could shut down your server, you could shut down your computer, and your EAs will still run. If you want to stop it, you could stop it. So let's just stop it now. Let's see if it stops. Probably have to refresh or something. So let me just close this. Oh, there we go. It stopped. Stopping. And that's it. And that's how you trade with EAs. I'm just going to remove this actually from the chart. So I don't want it to trade while we're talking. And that is how you set up EAs to trade automatically. So, you know, you could use the multifarious. Like I said, it's already set up. You could play with it. I've got a couple of more EAs that I'm going to show you guys, but for the most part, I'm going to be using this multifarious BYBIT EA because it has been set up specifically for BYBIT. And again, you could get it on my website. The link's down below. You could register on BYBIT on my website. You could get the registration link for BYBIT also in the description below. And join our Telegram group if you want to ask any questions. You want to come say hi. Got some coding questions you want some help with. And that is about it. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys need any other, I'll be posting a lot more videos. I'm going to be doing some more sets that I'm going to be doing some videos about on the multifarious. I'm just going to work them out myself. It does take about a day or so to find like really decent sets. And happy trading, guys, and smash those algos. Cheers.